Afternoon, how are we all doing? Afternoon, Brian, David, Martin, Danny, Edward, Julio, Virginia, Gregors, Crum, Peter, Ian, how are we doing? Lovely sunny afternoon in England. Freezing cold. Just taking the dog for a walk. Right. I've just turned the EA off on the stock index Hedge EA on the DAX because we've just hit ADR and I've just TP'd on the longs from this morning. So as we're at ADR, I'm expecting a pullback on this and I'm hoping it will happen at the New York Open. So I've got the aggressive entry ready to go. And I have stops in place to get me out of the DAX as well. So just seeing if I can get an aggressive exit on this. Normally the EA would turn off, would close these positions in 5 minutes before the open. But I'm going to let it run today, just let the open run, because I just literally need a strong bearish open and that will get me out with a profit. Otherwise I'm going to lock in about I'm not sure what it'll be actually, it'll be about 1200 I think loss, maybe more, 16, 32, 21, 1200 loss. But it's either going to be a win or a loss, and so one or the other. It will go up or down at the open. So DAX this morning, as you can see, was a hedge regardless of wherever you had your pending entries or whatever. It just went sideways for an hour and a half, actually about 3 hours. And then we finally broke out the pre-market high, and it sat there for another hour and a half-ish. And then we got the rally. So yeah, a bit of a frustrating open this morning. We got the GDP figure for the Aussie negative this morning. PMI is down for the UK, didn't do a lot. Bailey came out and said a load of stuff, didn't say anything impactive at all. Nothing happened with that. We've had the employment numbers come out as negative. So the US, that's the non-farm employment change, came out as a negative. Not a massive impact. So that's basically the extent of the news. Hasn't moved. So nothing's moving. Everything is waiting, I think, this morning. It is a sell for the US, but not dramatic. So, but I think we're waiting for the Canadian interest rates. I don't think anything's going to move until we get the interest rates. That's half an hour. So what I'm hoping is that have a little bit of a bearish open, everything hit TP, and then be done by 3 o'clock. Canadian trade balance has come out massive positive. The US trade balance came out negative. So yeah, lots of news, but no direction, no movement off of any of it. So nothing to report this morning. Haven't closed anything out today. Just sitting in DD on these, just waiting for the market to move, waiting for the Canadian dollar, basically. So I suspect nothing much will happen until that comes out. Rockets ablaze. Okay. I'm hoping heavy weights ablaze. First day using the SIHEA. Good luck. Afternoon, Monkey. Afternoon, Rajiv. So yeah, so that's basically the plan. So we got 5 minutes to the open, just under 2.5 minutes. So obviously with all the indices at the moment, we are on the back of a massive bull run. Obviously the DAX, now we're up at new highs again. Another ADR hit today. This thing's just parabolic, absolutely parabolic. The Dow, we are retesting last week's high at the moment, which is previous day's high as well. So this is the all-time high. Again, we're testing on the Dow pretty much. Not all-time high, but the recent high. S&P is rallying. NASDAQ is rallying. We're coming up into resistance on all of these. So there's a good chance we might get a big pop at the open because it's rallying pretty hard at the moment. This is obviously rallying off the back of the US dollar dropping. So we'll see what happens, but we'll see where the open goes. But I suspect we're going to get a bit of a whippy one today because obviously it's interest rates today at 3. So I wouldn't expect the market to want to rally very far or very hard ahead of those interest rates. But we will see what happens in 1 minute and 27 seconds. 22, 21. We need a 20-ton weight. What's your secret video? Don't tell anybody, Rajiv. In fact, yes, let's use the secret strategy now, shall we? There we go. DAX down at the open. You watch. You watch. I'll let it hit the bottom of that weight, but that'll be it. No more than that. Morning XR update.news. 40 seconds to go. No, 30 seconds to go. DAX has completely stopped, look. Not ticking at all. So what I'm hoping is basically just to get that triggered, that aggressive short, just to move down a little bit on a pullback. That'll get me out of everything. I don't think my weight's going to work today, do you? The market seems incredibly bullish at the minute. See where we go. Need some Tesla rockets pushing that weight down. Yep. Not sure about Tesla rockets going back the opposite direction. They are only designed to go up, so. Yeah, we're making weights this morning, Chris. Only for the open. I just want it to push down at the open and then it can go wherever it wants from there. But I'm not actually particularly convinced it's going to do that today. Let's have a look at what the Dow's up to over here. Whoops, there we go. Dow's out the highs. Long on the Dow. Damn. That ain't going to help. Okay, I'm out of that. Just wait for that to stop out and then I'll exit. Close these pendings. Okay. Loss on the DAX this morning, 1200. Right. So short on the NASDAQ. Short on the S&P, long on the Dow. NASDAQ's approaching target. Dow's not far off either. Oh no, I'm hedged. Sorry, I'm hedged on the Dow. Oh, crap. I was going to say, God, that's good. Look, almost a target hit on the Dow, almost a target hit on the NASDAQ. Hedged. Didn't see that. Never mind. Okay, so Dow 2R unfortunately got hedged on it there. S&P struggling. NASDAQ also struggling to go short. Market really wants to rally. This thing's not stopping. I don't think we're going to stop until January. This thing's just not stopping, is it? Crazy. Crazy moves. Look at that Dow. Mental. Big moves. So we'll see where this goes. Just wait and see if we get a target hit on the NASDAQ. Then I can have a look at where we're potentially going on these today. So NASDAQ, if this obviously just does break short today, the S&P will break short with it. Initial target would be pre-market low today to the downside. which is actually 5R because we've had a big run today. So pre-market low, you'll start to get a little bit exhausted on that, I think. ADR is not far away from a 5R run down to pre-market. Pretty much the same as the S&P look. S&P, I'm just going to move that second TP up under there. So yeah, that would be initial target to the downside on those. Have a look at the Dow. So downside on the Dow, again, pre-market low initially, but 125 ADR is your next support, which is yesterday's low and the previous day's low there. That's 125 ADR. So downside on the Dow is 125 ADR. So that would be my exit. And then look for a pullback from there. Pre-market low, obviously, is first potential. Look at that pullback. Beautiful. TP1 hit on NASDAQ, trailing at 1R. S&P hasn't managed to go anywhere yet. Look, stuck. Good move on the NAS, though. Going to move that second TP up. I'm not going to hit that. I'd be very, very surprised if I hit that because I'm using 1R trailer on this. S&P on its way down. There we go. NASDAQ 3R at the open. Good move. So 2R locked in, 4R locked in on that, $750 locked in. S&P's on its way to target. Shall I shut the Dow? Shall I shut the Dow? No, I'm going to let the Dow run. Problem, I mean, looking at this, obviously, the way it's coming down, big order just came in there on the NASDAQ. It's very jittery. Don't like it when it's jittery. Closing the S&P, 1.5R. I just want to lock some profit in because I've had a loss this morning. So they go out of the NASDAQ. So that's 1,000 banked on the NAS. 250 banked there. That pays for this morning. So I've just got the Dow hedge to handle this afternoon and a runner on the NASDAQ, on the S&P. So if I can get that S&P runner, that's $900. I can just close that out and bank 400 today, which will do. So let's see if we can get a run to the downside. I'm tempted to shut this Dow. If you look at the Dow on the higher time frame, look, I mean, we're out at highs. We're at all-time highs, basically. Next stop to the upside is that high from the bull run before we went into the bear volatile market, which was January last year. So this is basically from January last year, we collapsed. So that is basically where we've got as an upside target, which is that pink line, which is, good 500 ADR away. It's absolutely miles away. We're not getting anywhere near that today. We've got this massive bull run we've been on, which we need to pull back on. And it's just basically got liquidated at last week's high, which is where we initially started that flag. So this looks like a failed flag break, which is basically an M pattern reversal, which to me looks bearish. So I'm really tempted to exit. The speed these are the speed these are coming down today looks like it wants to go short, but I've been stung trying to get out of hedges this early. trying to predict a hedge after the first 10 minutes is very difficult, because the first 10 minutes is the initial cash balance going in. It's multi-directional orders all over the place. So this price action doesn't necessarily mean it's coming down. It means initially there was more sell orders than buy orders. Doesn't mean that's going to remain that way once the dust settles and they stop placing all the initial orders into the market. So I'm just a bit cautious. We got wicks to the downside here. Look, rejection, rejection, rejection. Although these are coming down very hard. So let's see. I'll let that one run. Right, let's have a look at FX this morning. So basically today we've had quite a few ADRs hit. We've got 20 minutes until news. So main news today is the Bank of Canada rate, Bank of Canada rate, which is expected to come out as a forecast 5. There's no reason why we shouldn't get that. If you look at the current interest rates on the Canadian dollar, we're sitting at 5. We didn't increase last time, same as everybody else. Interest rates are coming down very, very, very nicely. There's absolutely no reason why they should increase that. The US is talking about reductions in rates. The euro is talking about reductions in rates. Markets priced in 1.5% drop now, going back to 3 by the end of next year on the euro. We're forecasting 4 by the end of next year, potentially, on the US. So that brings us down to like 2.5, well, sort of 3.5 on the Canadian by the end of next year. This is coming down very, very quick. There's no way they're going to put the interest rate up, because all that's going to do is accelerate the speed of that coming down, which will give the Canadians disinflation, which is very bad. So I think this is going to come down quicker than expected, the same as the US. So I'm expecting them to say today in the rate statement that they're happy with the rate of inflation drop. They can't foresee any need to increase interest rates further, which will be negative Canadian, negative US. So we should see those markets drop today, which means the US indices, if that happens, potentially could rally. Yeah. So, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's coming out at 3 o'clock. This morning we had the Australian GDP figures come out as a negative, so that was a miss. So all the Aussie pairs basically had a big rally up. You know, GDP figure comes out as negative, let's rally it. Nuts. But anyway, it did. It's all undone. We've come back and retested that propulsion gap, etc. So Aussie dollar Swiss, we had a lovely ADR hit on that this morning. Your 5-minute reversal alert went in up there. Lovely push back down. Aussie dollar yen, your reversal alert this morning was up there. We've had 2 others paint since then, so that's pulled down nicely. Euro odd hit to the downside, reversal alert triggered at ADR, pushed up. Euro New Zealand, same thing. I was going to say, I thought that hit. There's your hit. There's your reversal alert. There's your W. There's your rally. Pound New Zealand. So the Pound New Zealand, obviously, we had Bailey talking today. So we had a bit of a whipsaw on the pound, but that was your reversal alert. There's your W pattern. There's your exit. Nice half an ADR or so there. 85 pips. Half an ADR is 65. New Zealand dollar CAD. So that literally, New Zealand dollar CAD is 60 on a 60. It literally hit ADR to the pip. And that was your reversal alert there. Sure. So pretty much every ADR today is just played out. Spot on, 100% strike rate basically today. One of those days where if you'd have taken every ADR, you'd have basically paid the mortgage. New Zealand dollar yen, same thing. This one wasn't quite as good today. We got up to ADR, put a little wobble in, hit ADR 125 there. Reversal alert was there, dropped down nicely. So you got a good 30 pips out of it. 34 is half an ADR. So all of those hit ADR. All of them have reversed. They're all finished and done. So you've missed all of those. RSIs we'll have a quick look at in a sec. Out of the S&P, flat, 600 banked on that. So 1,500 on those two. That pays for that. So I'm $300 up on the morning. on the day, and I've got to deal with a hedge. So worst case scenario, it's going to be about a $300 loss if I can't get out of this hedge. So not too bad, but we'll deal with this. Wait for it to decide where it's going to go. That's your high, obviously, of day now. It looks to me like it wants to go short, but need confirmation. Need it to break that propulsion gap, really, and tell us it's on its way. At the moment, can't really tell where that's going at all. Thank you, DAX. Stop me out and then do what I wanted you to do. Too risky to hold it there, too much size on. So RSIs today, Aussie New Zealand. You've got a 4-hour RSI extension on this. We looked at these this morning. They haven't gone anywhere. Aussie New Zealand still extended on the 4-hour below the 30 level. Lovely wicks on this. Beautiful rejection. For the last 12 hours, we've tried to push down, rejected, pushed down, rejected, pushed down, rejected. They do not want to go below that 168 level. So very nice rejection there. On this initial propulsion move, yeah, you there, which we bought again. Potentially we're buying it again. So we're looking at making market structure. You've got low, high, higher, low, push up into that high up there. But if that doesn't hold, obviously we'll double bottom at 150 ADR, somewhere around there. If that doesn't hold, we will double bottom somewhere around about 250 to 300 ADR. So initial entry, second, third, and you'll get out on that pullback. So Aussie New Zealand looks pretty good. It's only just extended. Just be very careful taking anything this close to Christmas, because if you don't get out of it next week, you're not getting out of it this side of Christmas. So it's just... I just want to be flat for Christmas, basically. So I'm trying not to get into stuff. EuroCAD, I'm long already. It's extended just about. It has been extended, obviously, which is where we got in last week. I got in on the hourly RSI extension after getting out of those shorts. So flipped long pretty much when I got out of the shorts. And it's just got in at totally the wrong time, just as that Euro CPI figure crashed the Euro. And since then, we've gone absolutely nowhere. So yeah, in waiting just for some kind of pullback. I only need 150 ADR, so I don't need a massive move out of it. I just need a pullback. Hopefully, the Canadian dollar will absolutely collapse on the interest rate numbers today. And we'll be out of that. And then I've got to deal with the other Canadian position. In fact, I'm just going to go 15 minutes. It's just not even worth it. It's literally, it's less than 0.5% if it plays out. I'm just going to get out the Aussie CAD, closing that out, break even. Basically, I don't want to be exposed both directions on the Canadian dollar. That would have made me 0.5% on an ADR hit today if the Canadian dollar interest rate rallies the CAD. If it drops the CAD, which I think is probably more likely, my Euro CAD is going to start to go into profit, and that's the biggest drawdown that I've got at the moment. So I'm just going to decide to get out of that one. It's all, the reason being it's already paid me. Look, so that was the initial entry there, scaled in there. I've taken that one off and that one off in profit. So I've already taken 2 profits off. That one has been taken off in profit. So there's 3 profitable trades, and 2 of those remaining ones are break evens. So it's a profit. There's no point in jeopardizing this, having to manage this for another week or so, maybe over Christmas, when the interest rate is potentially going to drop the Canadian today. So Euro CAD is the one that I'm sort of more worried about. If that Canadian dollar does drop, it's going to drag the US down, which means my US Swiss is going to go into drawdown because I'm long on the US, which is going to be a pain. But so yeah, so that Euro CAD obviously is extended on the 4 hour. Euro Swiss also extended on the 4 hour to the downside. This is coming to a beautiful support. We looked at this one again this morning. Since then, it's dropped even further. So we're looking at this area down here for support today. This entire move is over a week's worth of range in 2 days, basically, pretty much. Not so much that, actually. Hang on. I might be lying. No, it wasn't the Euro Swiss. Sorry. It was one of the others. It was one of the Aussies, wasn't it? But yeah, Euro Swiss, you can see we've had no pullback on this entire move at all. It's going to pull back. So looking for a bounce down here, and probably quite an aggressive one. The problem we've got on this is no news catalysts on the Euro or the Swiss coming up until next week. So interest rates next week on the Euro not coming out until Thursday. So that's when we're going to start to get the major moves started on that Euro. That 4.5 is going to come out as a 4.5. We know that. So again, as CPIs come down and interest rates are frozen, that's all going to be negative Euro. They may well move the Euro up on the news, just to profit take on this leg. But I would suspect they would probably want to do that first and then pile back into the shorts when that interest rate comes out. So I think this has probably got a good chance of rallying, but we kind of need one of these to do something. At the moment, they're both doing absolutely nothing, as you can see. So stuck at the minute on that Euro Swiss. But it's very extended. It's the most extended H4 we've got at the moment. Euro Pound extended to the downside. That's in accumulation so far this week. We haven't gone anywhere at all. Looking for a pullback on that leg. That area there is potentially where you're going to pull back into. So we've got that low, somewhere around there. And then potentially continue down. Euro weak, pound is kind of sideways at the moment, so that would still be a negative bias. And Euro US dollar stuck. Lovely tails to the downside on this one. Good rejection, but it's been very orderly kind of on the way down. So whether or not it's going to need to pull back or not, I don't know. These are both negative. Both of these are looking to drop fairly quick, so we'll see. But yeah, stuck. All stuck at the moment. We'll wait and see what happens with the CAD. Hopefully that will shake the market up a bit. Dow stuck still. Nothing going on. There we go. Analysis done. FTNet. These days, Dow always reverse to S&P and NASDAQ. Yeah, the Dow has gone. The Dow has really gone inverse. It's gone. Sorry, I got really itchy nose today. It's gone really out of sync with the other markets. You can see the Dow, basically we've had sort of 2.5-3 days sideways. You look at the S&P, it's all over the place. Much more volume going through the S&P. It's still pretty sideways. NASDAQ coming down. So they are a little bit more out of sync than usual at the moment. If you look at it, I mean, the DAX is totally out of sync with everything at the minute. So, you know, these markets are all finding their own sort of independent moves at the minute. These two obviously will be very, very similar most of the time, unless there's an individual stock, typically in the NASDAQ, which drives it further than the rest. You'll get them moving together. But the Dow is really sort of finding its own life now. I kind of want to get out of this Dow. I don't want to be long on it. I just want to be short on it. I know if I do this, it's going to rally and I'm going to regret it. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to do it. Tom, in and out, easiest 2% I've ever made. Good job. That's what we like. I want to see the Dow break these lows. This propulsion gap, basically. So this accumulation break, I want to see that broken before I get any faith in this actually going short. It's not going anywhere at the minute. Anybody got any other pairs they want to have a look at? So I'm basically obviously running H1M5 at the moment. We haven't had any H1 RSI extensions this week yet that have been good enough to get into new positions on. So if we get to the end of this week and nothing is really extended, I'm going to turn the EA off and then obviously come back at Christmas. I'm going to restructure stuff for Christmas. I want to start trading the FTSE. I want to move some money around. I'm going to scale back the position trading account a bit, put a bit more into indices, and I want to test a couple of other strategies live as well, forward testing. So I think I'm probably going to turn the EA off this week and just manage these positions and just literally try and get out of these by Christmas. US dollar Swiss is the main worry at the moment. I have no faith in this US dollar rallying. Actually, I'm going to move my TPs down. I don't want to get out all the way up there. Yeah. See, I mean, I've got a bit of a tricky situation at the moment in the fact that the CAD I want to drop. If the CAD drops, the US is going to drop. So whichever happens with the CAD today, I'm getting hedged. I'm hedged on it basically because the US and the CAD are going to go the same way. So I can't win today. I can get out of one of them today, and I'm kind of hoping it's the Euro CAD. So I'm hoping the Canadian drops, which will drag that US down. Then I can take another position on the US, bring that average down, and get out on a double top. Assuming that we're just going to remain range bound up until Christmas on it. That's the play. If that Canadian dollar rallies off the back of the news today, it's going to be very annoying. It means I've closed the wrong position. However, I will be able to get out of the US dollar Swiss. And I will be able to get out of the Aussie US as well, because the Aussie US will drop. So actually, the Canadian dollar rallying today isn't bad either. Gets me almost flat. I'm happy to take 5 or 6% in December, because only trading half the time anyway. So, afternoon, Kennelly. You're late. Dow's stuck, totally stuck. So are these. No one's going anywhere until 3 o'clock. This was the initial cash balance. Now we're waiting. The speculators are waiting for the Canadian dollar rate before they move. So we won't do anything until 3 o'clock, which is in 3 minutes, 30 seconds. So going to watch, let's watch the Dow. And what's not moving much today? Might as well watch the US dollar CAD. That'll give us an indication of how much the US is moving as well. See where we go. And watch the spread. Okay, 2.5 minutes to go. Another down day on oil as well. Another reason for the CAD to weaken. So it's not looking good for the CAD today at all. Might watch it on the hourly. I'm hoping for a big one. 1.5 minutes. I feel like the talking clock. 1 minute 30. 1 minute 27. Anybody got any jokes? Just filling. Okay, Dow's rallying ahead of the news. Some long positions coming in. Why is that not? Okay, spread's starting to widen. 30 seconds to go. Sounds like MasterChef. Does, doesn't it? Yes. 30 seconds. Plate up. How much does it cost a pirate to have his ears pierced? Don't know. Don't know. Spread's widened. We're about to go. A buccaneer. Good one. A buccaneer. Sounds like a New Year's countdown. Yeah. Strong Canadian. So we got the forecasts as expected. So let's just see what the statement says. Long CAD at the moment. Not a lot of reaction at all to that. Market not actually moving at all. Very weak reaction. Very weak. So there's not really any reaction on the indices either. No news. Here we go. Still concerned about the risk to inflation. Statement drops October language about inflationary risks increasing. So, as I said earlier, as I was expecting them to come out and say, we're not, we're still concerned about risks to inflation. However, we don't see that increasing as it's coming down at a very fast rate. So no reason to increase interest rates. Rates are clearly restraining spending. Labour market continues to ease. We do not want to put rates up. Economy no longer in excess demand. Preferred measures of core inflation have been around a 3.5, 4. Oil prices. Yeah, obviously moaning about oil prices because the Canadian dollar is linked to oil. Want to see further sustained easing in core inflation. We continue to focus on balance of supply and demand and economic inflation expectations. So basically, this is all coming down at a decent rate. We're happy with that. It could go up. We know about that. Therefore, no reason to put that up. So not positive, not negative, neutral. So some markets, sometimes we react massively negatively, as we did with the Australian dollar on those interest rates. So if you look at the reaction the Aussie got when its interest rate announcement came out, yeah, we just got a big it really depends on how the market is positioned, whether or not it's got a profit take move, it wants to stay, it wants to continue to buy or sell. You know, you can never tell, but that's a very weak reaction today on that Canadian. But it is rallying, sort of. Anything, is it? Just see if anything else comes through. So Dow's come back inside the opening range. Hard to tell. Very hard to tell if that's going to remain bullish or not. There's no movement, is there? So, no. So, nothing on that. Euro reacting the biggest, obviously, because Euro's weak at the moment. That's the biggest reaction we're getting on that one. But not even back to my exit look on the Aussie CAD. So, really, really crap reaction. So, that's news for today done. We might get some sustained movement on that. But the fact that the US indices are stalled out, it's looking bearish again, look. There's the pre-market low just gone on the NASDAQ. Oh, look at that. I just got taken out on that trailer. I moved my trailers to 1R just because I'm a bit risk averse at the moment on these. And I just want to bank as much as possible. The 2R trailer would be still in both of these at the moment. So I'd have had my 5R target. That would have been a 2R and a 5R done. That would have been a 2R and a 4R so far. Difference between a 2R and a 1R trailer is $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 or $3,000. But on the days where it goes like that and like that, you're happy you've got a 1R trailer because you make 50% more profit. Swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It's not going anywhere. Look. It's a shame. It's going to ruin my day, that. Okay, so we're not getting any reaction to the Canadian at the moment. So plan on the Dow this afternoon. Downside is 125 ADR. So I'd be wary of getting out anywhere around ADR today just because there is no support resistance around that area. It's all beyond ADR today. So there's two possible bounce points today on the Dow if you're hedged, as I am. You've got the low pre-market. Which is here. And that's the gap fill. So we did the gap fill today and got the gap fill bounce. So you've got a double bottom off the gap fill bounce today. Other than that, it's really down here at 125 ADR. 5R lands us in no man's land, really, just before that rally started at the end of the session yesterday. So it's very tricky to get out of this this afternoon. I kind of fancy the pre-market. You look at that's 3.5R pre-market low. If you look at where that is, that level, it's a very good reaction point, which we've broken through on the gap. And then we've retested. So I suspect we'll get a bounce from it if we don't just go into rotation from it. We'll get a bounce from it before we drop and come and retest these lows down here. So I'm going to go for 3.5 today. Just because of the weakness of this move today, it's just not going anywhere at the moment. It's dead, flat as a pancake. So I'll look to get out there and then get into an aggressive exit and see if I can get a little pullback just to try and get a break even out of this one, because that gives me a profitable day. If it breaks to the upside, that's a little bit more tricky because we don't have one. We don't have an upside until 500 ADR or something ridiculous. So there is no upside today. So the only thing you can use for upside resistance is ADR. So ADR to the upside is basically where I would look to start getting out. Exactly the same as I did on the DAX today. So today's exit on the DAX was ADR. We didn't get the reaction at ADR, but there is nothing else to look at. So all you can use is what on average the instrument is going to do on a daily basis. So upside ADR is 5R. So if we go up today, I'll be looking for an exit at ADR and try and get a pullback out of ADR. If we break down, I'll be looking for 3R at pre-market low. Other than that, I would probably wait for that previous day's low or yesterday's low, which is going to be sort of 125 ADR to the downside if you don't want to have a go at that pre-market level. I mean, if this suddenly screams down to there in literally 5 minutes, I shall move that lot down. Because if it does that in 5 minutes, it's probably going to do that. Don't forget, we're on the back of a massive bull run, which the market hasn't taken profit on yet. So at any point, this could just flip. I'm very wary about getting out early on shorts at the moment, because when we do get these shorts, those elevator shaft shorts, yeah, they're 200 ADR plus sometimes. So, you know, this could just scream through there. When they press the button and they start that move, it won't stop. It's just whether they're going to, because we're due a Santa rally as well, aren't we? We're in on the 6th of December. We should be starting to rally now. We're getting there. So we'll see where this goes today, but hedged on it. If you didn't trade the DAX this morning and you're only trading US indices, you've made enough money on those to close that one out and walk away with a profit for the day. So it's just that I'm in the hole from the DAX this morning. That's the only reason I've got to manage this one. Otherwise, I'd shut it and just go. But c'est la vie. Anybody got any other pairs they want to look at? Not getting out of anything today, am I? Not going anywhere. Afternoon, Neo. That was an anticlimactic reaction. Yep, was very much so. What is wrong with that DAX? Nothing. It's just rallying. Just going long. Just not stopping the DAX. It's just I haven't, as like I said, I've said it in here before. I haven't seen a move like this on the DAX for a long time. It just literally does not have an upside at the moment. It's just off the scale, isn't it? Absolutely flying. It's 20,000 points. 20 ADR that run. 20 without stopping, without profit taking. I mean, it's had one tiny flag. Other than that, we haven't even had a flag. That's the only flag we've had in a 20 ADR move. It's unbelievable. I've never seen it move that fast, that hard before. Crazy. This is why you do not position trade indices. But yeah, nuts. 150 ADR now, DAX. Mental move. Very glad I got out. Yeah, scary today, isn't it? We'll see. The fact that that's rallying like that, I suspect these indices on the US side are going to find it very hard to drop today, unless this thing just turns tail and runs. Don't forget as well, though, bull runs end with a push. Yeah, this is 150 ADR following an up day. So this could be it. If you look at the DAX on a daily, we could be seeing the end of a bull run here. Yeah, we're what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days solid up. We've had 2 down days, excluding that doji. In the entire month of November, we've had 2 down days. And look at the speed and acceleration of this move here. I mean, you've got to want to get on short and hold it. But how'd you get on? You're getting on a down day is your best bet, really. Next down day we get, or even the next doji, stop above previous day's high. Just short it and hold it. This time in January, you could be on a pot of cash, basically. It's got to profit take that at some point, isn't it? Look at it. I mean, it just has not had that move before. We had a parabolic move there, which was 25 ADR. That was in October 2022. Actually, that was November, wasn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, this is a kit. So this move we got here is that from last year, 2022. So, December. Now, after a parabolic move, you get a parabolic pullback. We're getting a pullback on this, and it's going to be at least 38. So if you if you can get into this short, stick a fib on the move, yeah, wherever we finish up. That is a shallow pullback into the 24 moving average, 38 retracement. That's as much. That's what you can expect during January if you can hold it. Big payday. It's got to stop though. Where's it stop? Nobody knows. Dow's still stuck. So we're approaching 1 hour in now, 45 minutes in. No directional bias at all on the Dow. Can't do anything with that one today. This time next year, Rodney, we'll all be millionaires. Seriously though, if you stick $2,000 in a new broker account, right? Hit the short button with something around a 2% risk when you get a downward movement on a day. So you need a down day, basically. Wait for a down day. Don't get in just because it's going up. Get in when it's gone down. So trade the daily chart. Yeah. So you could probably use the 4 hour, maybe. I'd be more inclined to use the daily. Yeah, wait for a down day or an inside bar. So that candle there, yeah. If tomorrow we basically push up and put in a bearish candle, short it with 2%, stop above the high, pending order, another 2% below that low. By the time you get down there, you'll have doubled that. If you want to pay off a decent chunk of your mortgage, stick 20 or 30 grand in. Don't do that. But yeah, I mean, that's got the makings of a big, big, big profitable move at some point. It'll probably spike you out first before it falls to hell. Well, that's what I mean by wait for an inside bar or a down day. Yeah. Big moves end with a rally, usually. Yeah, look at that there. You end with a parabolic rally out of a high normally. Yeah, look at that high. Look at that parabolic rally. Yeah, the reason for the parabolic rally is the market searching for opposite orders, which it can't find because nobody's up there. Yeah, so it has to stretch to get its orders filled. And it's like a plane going up, running out of oxygen, engine stalls, bang. We haven't got anybody else that's willing to sell to us. All right, well, we have to become sellers. There's nothing they can do. There's nobody. You cannot buy from nobody. If there's nobody there to buy from, you reach, and when you stop reaching and go, no one else there, all right, fine. That's when you get out and you take profit on that move. That's where the climbing up the stairs, falling down the elevator shaft comes from. There's nothing left to do. You physically cannot buy any more shares. There aren't any. The market is overpriced. That stock there, that company worth 24 billion, yeah, their price at the moment is 25 billion. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, well, sell that then. There's nothing they can do. They have to sell it. It's just economics. It just has to happen. It's just timing. But typically you'll find it ends with a rally because the market runs out of steam. Look. Collapse. Doesn't get more parabolic than that, does it? So we'll see. We'll see. The only thing going against that at the moment is we're in December and we often get a Santa rally. And if this is the start of the Santa rally, God help us. Where's it going? Santa? Wow. Typically, you have a pullback before the Santa rally, not a parabolic run into the Santa rally. Look at last year in December. We didn't get it. Where are we? There we go. That's December last year. See, we had a November rally. Then we had a Santa depression. Normally we get a Santa rally. That's what we normally get in December. We actually got that in December last year. First time for a while, we haven't had the Santa rally. So we'll see. Right. That's all I've got for you today. Waiting on the Dow, waiting on this. This isn't going anywhere. So nothing I can do with any of that. Dow's not going anywhere. Nothing I can do with any of that. Nothing's moving anywhere. Might as well go and do something else. I've got other things to do. Need to find a cleaner who clicks on the long button on gold. Yeah, what happened to gold, actually? I didn't look at gold. What happened to that after that ridiculous move? Look at it. Again, this is, I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened here, but look at that run, 3-week rally. Look at the end of the rally. Yeah, it's exhaustion. The market is trying to find people that want to sell gold. And this guy will, but only at that price. So you're like, all right, that's all that's available. I'll take it. You have to stretch to get it. Then you collapse because you physically just can't do anything else. But that was unbelievable, that move, wasn't it? And there was no explanation. I still haven't heard an explanation. It was literally a cleaner leaning on the keyboard and pressing the buy button by accident. And then a trader waking up on his alarm going, holy crap. Oil. Yeah, oil will be coming down on the CAD. If the CAD's coming down, oil. Yeah, it's just. Again, it just shows you how much some of these market experts know. That was the forecast from the big institutional players, Goldman Sachs, Chase Manhattan, all that lot, saying, yeah, $100 a barrel by the end of the year. $70 a barrel. Wrong. So gold's coming down into support, which is 200 ADR. So we can get there this week. If we get another couple of down days this week, we'd be back down at that support. You're going to get that bought up. Look at the size of this move on the daily. Parabolic 5-day down move. This is OPEC not able to come to a consensus for barrel production limits. The Saudis are not playing ball at the moment. So oil price is dropping. OPEC tried to rally it, haven't managed to. So should be getting a pullback on that. I'm not going to trade it. I've had it with oil. But that's a very, very clear support. $67 a barrel. Market is not selling below $67 a barrel. Yeah. So if we get to $67 a barrel, pop. At least pop. It might not pop and hold. It may just pop and drop. But pop is all you need, isn't it? Long it. Get out on the pop. How far it is, nobody knows. But yeah, big drop on oil. That's not going to help the Canadian dollar either. Unfortunately, Mamba is still sitting on the beach drinking Mai Tais with all of his gold. Yeah, I watched that video, Brian, all the way through. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Mamba, using all of your money. I like the way that the guy that was trying to follow his signals tried to pay with a one-use card, and he's got it set up so that he doesn't accept one-use cards because you can't do chargebacks on one-use cards. So when you actually figure out that he is manipulating the figures and changing all of those signals after they've been placed, you can't get a refund. He's not silly, is he? That's why he's got so much gold. I don't trade bonds, no. Gold chains. I've got gold chains. Got loads of gold chains. Look. Gold. Loads of gold. Look. I can be Mamba FX. I just need to get my teeth done. Ugh. That doesn't taste like gold. How could JP Morgan be that wrong on oil? I know. Is it a sinister move where they intentionally lie, or are they really just oblivious to retail traders? Oh, they know nothing about retail traders. But, this just goes to show, the market makers get it wrong. Well, not the market makers, but the large institutions get it wrong. Yeah, but they haven't got it wrong. Their forecast is absolutely legitimate. We've had a war breakout, which is good for oil pricing. We've got supply restrictions, which is good for oil pricing. Demand is going up. China's wanting more, which is good for oil pricing. However, no one can come to an agreement on barrel limits, so they're selling it. There's nothing to do with JP Morgan or their inability to read the market. The market's just doing the opposite to what everybody thought it was going to do. And there's nothing even OPEC can do about it. This was OPEC's attempt at a rally a couple of weeks ago by agreeing to demands for production limits. And they still sold the crap out of it after that. Nothing you can do. This is why I don't trade commodities. And because they're supply and demand driven, but they have ridiculous moves. Look at gold. I mean, the one we just looked at on gold. And look at these oil moves, yeah? When it wants to go, it goes. And there is literally nothing that can stop it. So if you're trying to position trade commodities and you get the wrong side of them, you will get stuffed for months on end and have to take massive losses. A la my oil losses here. Look. I got out of that with a small loss, but it could have been a much bigger one. And I decided to jump ship there. Glad I did. Really glad I did. It's not good. Commodities. FX is so much easier because it's just more manipulatable because of the news. We've got more news that can move it up and down. Oil is either yes or no. And if it's no, it can be no for weeks on end, and it's just horrible. They've still got 2 weeks to get to 95 by Christmas. Yeah. What's that? 243 we need. 10 ADR. 10 ADR by Christmas. You never know. You could have 10 parabolic days straight up. We've just had it on the DAX. We've had more than 10. We've had 20 parabolic days up. Could do. Let's see if it's ever done it before. No. That's the Russia-Ukraine. I mean, it's had some pretty parabolic runs, isn't it, to the upside, look. That was 10. That's 10 ADR in a month. Not going to do it, is it? It's not going to do 20 in a week, in a fortnight. Especially as we haven't actually got a fortnight because the market's going to shut at the end of next week. So it's more likely it's going to hit 67 a barrel and bounce and sit down there until Christmas. And then New Year, it will probably pop. But I'm not interested in oil at the moment. Dow is just stuck fast. Absolutely stuck fast at that level. Cannot get through there. The other markets have dropped. 5R, 7R, no R, 1R. We can't get anywhere Dow today. It's just stuck fast. Mambalee, yep. I could change my name to Mambalee. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Smart Charts AI trading tool just made me 136,650 pence whilst I was having breakfast at Dior, Greg Secker. Yes. While I was having my permanent eye makeup tattooed and my teeth whitened. You ever read New Concepts in Technical Trading Systems? I haven't, no. Who's that one by? Wilder. He's a stock trader, so Wilder, wasn't it Wilder who invented the RSI? Average true range and relative strength index. There you go. There you go. So me and him got a lot in common. We use ATR, and RSI. ADX as well. And the parabolic SAR. God, he was busy, wasn't he? Basically, if you just do the bootcamp, you've pretty much done it. It's basically what I teach, isn't it? Same stuff. Not going anywhere today. If you do want to read over Christmas, go and get Tom's book, Best Loser Wins. Good, really good. Won't teach you anything about trading, but it will teach you all about the psychology of trading. Very good psychological book. Basically, exactly the same as I say. Flip a coin. You've got as much chance flipping a coin as you have reading an indicator. Price action goes bullish, flip a coin. Next one's bearish. Look at this today. Prime example of what Tom's on about. Go long, go short. Go long, go short. Go long, go short. Go long, go short. Where are you going to go now? It's going to do that? Or it's going to do that? It's going to go through that. That's it. That's why I like Tom. Tells it like it is. He hasn't got a clue where it's going. I haven't got a clue where it's going. But we get in and somehow we make money. If that happens when it's confirmed, JP Morgan are moving prices up and down exclusively. JP Morgan have just got it wrong. They've all got it wrong with oil, all of them. It's funny because you hear all these like big institutions giving all their forecasts and stuff, and you never hear anything again unless they're right. They'll come out on Bloomberg and go, 6 months ago, we predicted the oil prices would hit $95 a barrel, and they have. If it doesn't hit $95 a barrel, you'll never hear from them again. They'll give you a new forecast in January for where it's going to go in 2024. If it gets there, they'll tell you about it. If they don't, you won't hear a thing. Bit like some of these signal services that are out there that have these Telegram groups where you can pay to join them. Yeah, all the time it's going well, they'll be flying charts out at you all the time. And when they go quiet for 6 weeks, it's because they are making a massive loss. Just not going to tell you about that bit. JP Morgan, I think, are very much the same. It's not good for them to advertise the fact that they've got a call wrong, is it? Because investors are putting billions into companies like JP Morgan to manage their funds, pension funds. I think it's JP Morgan that managed the New York Police pension fund, isn't it? It's one of those big ones. Yeah. You don't want to lose that account. It's going to pay you a lot of commission. Right. Nothing's happening today. I'm stuck on this one. It's highly likely I'm going to take a hedge on this today because this isn't going anywhere. So I'm going to monitor this for the next sort of couple of hours. I'm going to hold that target of the pre-market low because the way this is going at the moment, if we do manage to get down to the pre-market low, I don't think we're going to get enough volume to get anywhere near yesterday's low, which has got to move at 125 plus ADR. So I'm going to hold that as a target to the downside. Upside target ADR. That's it. It's either going somewhere or it's not. I've had a good week. Monday was clean breaks across the board, a couple of grand. Yesterday was clean breaks, a couple of grand. If I take a $300 loss today, doesn't matter, does it? Nothing we can do with it if it ain't moving. So yeah, I'll leave it there today. Nothing else is moving on FX either, by the looks of things. Not going up or down. Oil is obviously moving. Canadian dollar has gone absolutely nowhere off the news. There's no new ADR hits. It's all just stuck in that. So we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. Overnight news, you haven't got anything to worry about tonight. Tomorrow morning is going to be very tricky because we've got the Swiss currency reserves released at 8 o'clock, which may inject quite a big move into the DAX at the open. Not necessarily a problem if you can get a trade on, but if that does move really, really fast at the opening bell, we might not be able to get trades on, or rather the EA won't be able to execute in time. So it might be a tricky one tomorrow morning. We'll have to play that one by ear. But tomorrow we've got unemployment claims an hour before New York Open. That's it. So there's no other news tomorrow. And then it's obviously unemployment rate on Friday. So Friday's the big day this week. Although I thought today was going to be the big day this week, but the market couldn't bat an eyelid, could it, at that interest rate today? So yeah, nothing overnight to worry about, really. Business as usual. So I will be back tomorrow, same time, 7:50 for Frankfurt and 2:20 for New York, and then we'll obviously see where we go in the morning. But other than that, nothing else to look at today, so I will leave it there. All right, I'll be in Telegram if you need me. Other than that, I will see you next session. Have a good day.